curious because human rights activists warn that this is a major step back that'll have misinformation, conspiracy theories, and bigotry running wild on the site. My question is, when did fact-checking become a bad thing?
Since Donald Trump became president.
Yes. Absolutely.
You're right. Absolutely. I have said from the Giddy Act that the worst thing that he has done is cause this misinformation and lying going on.
Alternative facts.
This alternative facts that Kellyanne Conway, she said alternative facts. You know, this guy Zuckerberg, I saw the movie, wasn't it Social Network?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where he says basically, I'm creating Facebook so people have a community, so that people can talk to each other. All of a sudden, it's become this big thing about, and a big lying machine that's going on. Yeah. And, you know, the wokeness is what is at the bottom of this.
Yeah, I just want to say, I'm sorry, if being woke is a bad thing, that means that the fact that I care about you, regardless of what you say or who you are, I want to make sure your family is as well off as mine is. That's too woke. It's too woke for me to say to you, hey, listen, if your kids, you don't want your kids reading this, maybe the best thing to do is let's go to the library together and I'll tell the librarian what I don't mind my kids reading, and then you can tell the librarian what you don't want your kids to read. That's too woke.
Well, the new...
I'm going to just reject the fact that we don't know what a fact is.
Really?
I reject it outright.
No
there
one's
is a difference
suggesting that,
between
though.
Opinion and fact. And there is, you know, journalists, like people that are, you know, work for the New York Times, they know how to fact check. Journalism students are taught you fact check 3 different sources.
Journalists have gotten things wrong, though.
So this notion,
but
this notion that, you know, the reason that they're doing this is because, you know, they can't fact check it.
But free speech gives you a right to be wrong. I have a right to post something that's inaccurate. I have a right to say the grass is blue.
Facts are different.
That shouldn't be taken down simply because it's fact, not true.
Disinformation is different. And so I think what you're finding is this company is also getting rid of content restrictions on topics like gender identity and immigration. Calling women, by the way, household objects is now permitted on Facebook.
But do you think it shouldn't be as much?
Users are now allowed to, for example, refer to women as household objects.
It's an interesting conversation.
Let's take a break because
I need to...
Alyssa needs to speak up a little bit. Now, you all know I don't like her at all. And I think she's only changing her tune to becoming a little more conservative because now conservatives, you know, are cool. Right. Trump won. And so now she's okay to actually be conservative. So she's fake. She's phony. I don't like her. But let's unpack exactly what they said. So I want to talk about what social media was before Trump won the election. It was uncensored. It was a place you connected with high school friends where people like Justin Bieber were discovered. It was free. It was a place you could talk about anything. Anybody could become a pundit. You could agree, you could disagree. But when Trump won the election is when they lost their minds because they could not control what people heard. They couldn't control what people looked up. And so they decided to use it as a weapon against conservatives and against Trump because he came to fame.
Exactly. Let's talk about some other facts that Sonny, wants to gloss over. I think Mark Zuckerberg should put those fact checkers on The View. Before I go into my facts, I'm going to point you all to the nice shirt that I'm wearing here. It says, not black, not white, but American. Don't let them divide us. You can get it on our website, poppinpoliticslive.com. Go to the shop button and shop your heart away. Buy as much as you want and help support us. And let us know that you bought the items and wear them as well. So back to the facts. Now, one fact is Hillary Clinton lied. Hillary Clinton also, the fact, paid for the Russiagate scam. Those were facts too. There's also a fact. She mentioned women have vaginas and breasts. Men don't. Those are facts too. Women are not men. Men are not women. Those are facts too. Been facts since time began.
And they were all censored.
They were all censored. And the one fact that she hates that I happen to love, Trump won. Delectable. It's like honey down your throat. So those are facts too, Sonny. Get a grip.
Yeah.
Get a grip.
Nicole, so one thing I want to talk about, what Whoopi said, she was talking about woke. There's nothing wrong with woke. Woke is, getting inclusivity and all this. Do you agree with what she said about that?
Of course not. I don't think I've ever agreed with this woman ever on anything. Probably one of the most unfunny comedians that ever graced the stage or hold a microphone. But all of that said, what she's trying to do is what Democrats typically do. They try to reclaim language. Mm-hmm. Words like disinformation and misinformation. We used to just call them straight up lies, right? It's a lie. If it's not true, it's a lie. Now you have to discern whether it's disinformation or misinformation. Misinformation being something that was unknowingly false, right? Which is a lie. Or something that's deliberately false, which is still a lie. Right? Save yourself all those extra characters and just LIE, right? Just a lie. But she's trying to reclaim it and make it something soft and genteel, something again, but we all know what they mean when they say woke. Mm-hmm. This is not the woke of the early 70s. That's not what they're talking about. The kind of woke that she's trying to reclaim is what we talk about when we talk about people having issues. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to be mean to any particular subset of people, but if you are a person who is confused about your gender, and you call yourself a woman, and you're definitely a man, penis intact man, that's woke in this day and time. There's nothing true about it. It's not factual. It's not disinformation, misinformation. If you have a penis, hear me clearly, America, that makes you male. Mm-hmm. That makes you male. I don't care if you tuck it, stuff it, tape it on down. It makes you a man. That is what a man is. That is a fact. And there's no soft shoeing that Whoopi Goldberg can do to make that any different. And I'm glad that Facebook is finally going back to what it used to be. You know, people used to go on Facebook just to plant crops. Yeah. You remember that game, Farmville, and catch up with your friends?
And what was she talking about, Whoopi? We're talking about, if she cares about who. Wench, you don't give a damn about how much money anybody else makes, or you're not that concerned. Stop playing games, okay? Don't play games with me. Like Judge Judy says, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining.
And that's exactly what she's trying to do. That's exactly what she's trying to do. And you're not only going to hear it from Whoopi, but you're going to hear it from everyone that they consider to be a thought leader, where they're going to try to reclaim language. But the truth of the matter is, what Donald Trump has done is he's broken down those floodgates, and people are getting their information from alternative sources. Exactly. Like this.
And that's what they do
and
now.
They can't stand it because they can't control it. They can't call up and say, hey, YouTube, I want you to shut off Poppin' Politics because, she's on Whoopi Goldberg's case. They can't do that anymore. And Zuckerberg finally has come, to the table and said, yes, they made me do this.
Right. And this is why independent media is so important.
Absolutely.
And thanks to people like you all, patriots who love America and stand for truth, we're actually making a difference. Together, we've turned them off, called out their lies and propaganda, and held them accountable for their disdain for God-fearing, freedom-loving Americans like us. But we can't stop here. It's time to take action with your dollars. Let's make 2025 the year we double down on our commitment to values-driven choices. Vote your dollars, support Made in America, and back companies that honor our families, faith, and country. We found an exciting way to make this switch, and we want you all to join us. Check out www.popandswitch.com and click, yes, I want to make the switch. It's that easy. It's time to walk away from corporations like BlackRock and Vanguard that undermine our principles. Let's invest in America. Let's support businesses that share our love for this country. You don't have to do everything at once, but you can start here. Join us in making one small but powerful step. Visit www.popandswitch.com and click the link and schedule a call with someone from our team. Together, we can create real change. All right. And so one other thing I want to talk about is the difference between hate speech and free speech. Shelley, is there a difference?
is that disinformation or misinformation?
Right.
I mean,
right.
Which one is it? You know, is it live or is it Memorex?
Right.
Free speech is free speech. I pulled up, you know, my faithful Constitution here. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or of the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government, I can't even see, for a redress of grievances. So I don't even know what hate speech is, except I will say this. Hate speech to me is if you are threatening someone, right? You're threatening someone's life, someone's livelihood, you know, on social media, whatever the case may be. That may be hate speech. Does a person have a right to threaten? They can speak the words, but there are laws and rules and regulations to, you know, to deal with that. To anything else, to me, I just may not like it. You may not like it, but no, I don't want to shut you up. And I think this conversation needs to be had more and more on social media, left circles, liberal circles, conservative circles. Because you know me, you know, I've said it before, even in conservative circles, you know, some of us like, well, they can't say that, or they shouldn't say that. And, you know, that's your opinion, fine. But to make some rules and regulations around it, to me, only takes us backwards and not even honoring our Constitution.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, do I agree with everyone on the right? No. You know, there are some people, look at Candace Owens for example. She is, you know, she has really joined sort of like the conspiracy theory group. And I agree with some of the things she says. Some things I don't. Some things, but all of it I want to research on my own. And there's space for the debate to be had. So if we don't agree on everything, Candace Owens, who's the other? Alex Jones, any of these people. If you don't agree, that's fine. You can disagree. You can look it up start your own podcast and say, hey, I looked this up and I don't agree with these people. Or I looked this up and they're actually right. They're telling the truth about this, and mainstream media needs to get on board. But we don't need to take them down. We don't need to censor them. They should not be deplatformed for this kind of stuff. And this is what the left wants to do. And unfortunately, as you mentioned, Shelley, some on the right. And it's not right. It's not being a conservative. It's not being a patriot.
What it is controlling. Is exactly what it is. This is a form of control. You know.